Welcome back to Dirty Water Coins and Collectibles. Look at what we have here. So supposedly there is 100 rolls in here. Looks like some of them may have popped open. But I have $50 worth of pennies, all from one person. And they are all from, it was Woodstock, Vermont. I'm going to get these into a couple of boxes, and we'll be right back. All right, here's our 2 boxes of pennies. I did do kind of a sample weighing. I did like 6 rolls out of each box, maybe 5, something like that. I don't know. But I think like every roll except for one weighed in at 155 grams. The other one was like 147. So I think we're going to have a lot of copper in this. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fines. But if anything, I think we're definitely going to have a ton of copper. So let's get into this hunt. I'll move this box to the side. That'll go up on top of my nickels. And we'll get into this one first. This one will have that red center roll. This one does not have the red in the center. This one has a red in the center. So we'll do this one first. Let's get into it. I'll do 10 rolls 5 times. Will be box 1. Probably part 1. Let's get into it. Be right back. So I just flattened out the first roll just so you get a look of the condition of the coins that are in here. 75, 59, 76, 69 Denver, another 75. So hopefully we have a fun hunt. We'll see. Let's keep her going. I'll be right back. Let's take this out of there while we're here. 1968 Canadian. All right, let's keep her going. All right, I'm still working on roll 1. Every coin has been copper except for that one Canadian so far. I have a 1964 Denver with a rim clip. But not only is it a rim clip, we have a double die reverse. I don't know which one it is, but you can see at the bottom of the N that is doubled right down here. And then the bottom of the E of cent, bottom of the C of cent is doubled. The bottom of the E, the bottom of this N, bottom of the T is slightly notched. The inside of this C right here of America, right in here, is doubled. Trying to see. It looks like a little bit of the R. So I have to do some research on this, but it looks like we have a clipped planchet DDR. So that's pretty cool. But let's keep the hunt going. So you do see the clip, and then opposite that there is some Blakesley right here. So let's keep her going. All right, working on the second roll so far, all copper. And we have our first KG6. 1950. All right, let's keep her going. Oh, there are a bunch of 75s and 76s in here, so Eric Beyer, I got my eye open for some DDOs, buddy. Let's keep it going. So just so we don't get an overload prompt, I'm going to weigh the copper after 5 rolls. And I do have some that are out right here, a couple here that I got to check on, but we get an idea. So 5 rolls. I did look at this already, so take a look. $758 just about. Not counting what's not in there. So probably a little over $758 for hour copper out of 5 rolls. That's insane. We're up at the O for solo. We're usually down by the second O of solo. So let's get into it. The next 5 rolls, and then I'll bring you back with the finds, unless I come across something cool in between. Be right back. So I'm bringing you into this Copper Coins page, 1971D 1DO001. If you can read that little paragraph right there, you can pause it or read it quick. I do have a 1971D under the scope, and you can see In God is thicker. It said that there was no signs of separation, really. The one on doubledie.com will show it. This one is a later stage. You can see the thickness in God We Trust. A little thickness in the L. You see all the die scratches that run from Trust and Liberty. And then down in the back of the Monticello building, there's die scratches that run southwest. So I'm going to bring you in, show you the one that I have under the scope, and let me know what you think down in the comments. All right, so here's the example that I have. I just have it turned slightly so you can see a little bit of the die crack or die marker from between the E. You can see one's running this way through the R. There are some through the Y. It's just very difficult to get them to show up. But like right in that area there, you can see the ones through the Y that come up this way. There's one that comes through here, right down there. And if we come up to In God We Trust, let me flip it upside down for right now. You can see the thickness of In God We Trust. Especially that N. Now I'm trying to get, you can see all the die scratches running through Trust. And if I flip her over, if I can get this, you can see the die scratches running southwest behind and under the Monticello building. Not the Monticello, I'm sorry, the Lincoln Memorial. So you see them running this way and down here running this way. So I believe it is the 1DO001. Not 100% confident, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me show you what else we have found. I'll be right back. Group number 1 has been hunted. Let's see what we have. We have a 1950 KG6. Love those. We had a 1962 and a 1963 Younghead. We also have a 68, 2 69s, and a 77 for Canadian cents. I held aside this 75 because I'm going to probably put it in the toner album. Then we have our 71 possible 1DO001. And then we have our 1964 Denver clipped planchet. Let's get the second portion of Group 1 copper weighed up. Be right back. All right, let's get this one weighed up. Another heavy one. $775.7. Right up at the O again. Let's get into the second group. I'll be back if I have any finds. Third roll, group of 5. Copper weigh-in. Seems like it'll be good. 782.4. We're up past the O of solo. All right, let's keep her going. Working on the 6th roll in the second group of 10. And we've got a wheat cent. I haven't found a wheat cent yet. I mean, all copper though, and they're in good condition. Some brown, some red. A lot of 75s and 76s. Looking for that DDO. But all copper. Oh, we got a wheatie, so let's see what that is. 1954 Denver. All right, let's keep her going. All right, I'm working on roll number 9. And under the scope, I have been waiting since I started this hunt. Under the scope, I'm going to show you what we have. You see Liberty. It's a little doubling under the L there. Little doubling in the B. Pull to the right. Here's some stuff going on the back of Lincoln. But check that out. Look at how thick that 1972 is. Check it out. We got notching in the 1. Looks like a little bit down the bottom. Thickness in the 9 around here. Thickness in the 7. Also in the 2. And then when I come up to In God, look at that doubling. In God we trust. So we have DDO number 8 on doubledie.com. Trying to see if I could get it to show up a little bit better for you. And try to put it on its side here. There you go. In God we, and then trust. So DDO number 8, doubledie.com. It is I believe this is a cherry pickers variety. I forgot to look, so I'll put that information right in here. That's a sweet looking coin. All right, the second weigh-in for Group 2. $755.3. I'm going to fill up my canister before this box. That's insane. All right. Be right back with the finds from Group 2. I should have done that first. Be right back. Group 2, we got some finds. We have a KG6, 1952. We have a couple of young heads, a 1957 and a 1961. We also have a 1965. We did get one wheat cent. I forget what it was, 54 Denver. 1954 Denver. And then who can forget our 1972 DDO. All right, let's keep her going. Group 3 coming up. Be right back. All right, so we made it to that red roll. Looks like it's either, I think that's a stamp. JK. Let's tape over here. I don't know why. It's not really taped up. So let's see. We'll just pop it open. I'm sure they'll all be coppers, but nothing special. Pretty much like the whole hunt has been all coppers, so. All right, so this one here has got like a, it's an 85. It looks like there's a die chip on the end of the 5 there. I think that's just a zinc blister. All right, so a little bit of non-copper. Let's keep it going. I'll bring you in when I come across something. All right, get the first weigh-in of Group 3. 761.3. Let's keep it going. Group 3 has been hunted. We have a 1962 Younghead. We also have a 1970 Canadian, a 71, 75, a nice red 75, and a red 76. We have a 1946 Wheatie, and then just a couple that I pulled aside for potential toner fillers. Get a little purple here. This one's kind of cool. Wish it wasn't dirty up in the corner there, but it's cool looking. This one's actually nice. It's just not. It's not showing up. But anywho, let's get into Group 4. I'll be back with the finds right after we measure up the copper. Right back. All right, let's weigh up the second half of Group 3. 760.8. I don't know if you make that out or not. I'll put the light on a little bit more. 761 flat. All right, let's get into Group 4. I'll be back with any finds. We have the first pot of Group 4 weigh-in. Is at 791.2. Wow. That's a good one. Let's get into the second half of Group 4, see what we can find. Group 4 didn't really give up too much. We have a 1962 Younghead, a 68, 70, and 74 Canadian. I don't know if that's like the Laureate portrait. I'm not sure what that one is called. There's a Younghead here. And then I pulled aside a 1974. It has some kind of reddish toning to it, reddish pink, orange. So I hold that aside for possibly a plugging spot to the album. Let me get the second portion of the copper weight done, and then we'll get into Group 5. All right, here's the second portion of Group 4 weigh-in. Not coming up, it's not showing. What does that say? 776.9. Is it better this way? I can't tell. 777. All copper. This box is incredible for copper. Let's get into Group 5. Be right back. First half weigh-in for Group 5. 777.3. Lots of copper. Let's keep her going. All right, so Group 5 is finished. We got all Canadians. A 1960 Younghead, a 62 Younghead. We got a 1967 Bird Scent. We have a 1966, two 69s, a 1970, and a 1973. And under the scope, I have a 1961 RPM, and I don't know which one it is. We have a notch here and down here. And I went through like 13 pages on coppercoins.com real quick. But I don't know exactly which one it is. But we do have one. I know that much. So that does it for our hunt. Let me weigh up the copper, and then I will be back with our best finds. Be right back. All right, here is our final copper weigh-in. There we go. 784.7. That's amazing. What a hunt. So much copper, everything, all copper. Put that in my penny box because I ran out of mason jars to put my copper in, so I got to go out and get more mason jars. Bigger size mason jars, but I ran out. So let me get the better coins and I'll be right back. All right, in my opinion, here are our top finds for box 1 of this hunt, part 1 of 2. We have a 1950 and a 1952 KG6, both in decent condition. Then we have a 1946 and a 54 Denver wheat cents. We had a 1964 Denver clipped planchet, our 1971 DDO, and our 1961D RPM. But the find of this hunt is our 1972 FS-108. That is just unreal. That's the thickness on that 72. And we get the thickness under the L, the doubling under the L, and then doubling on in, and God, we, and trust. So that's just awesome. Sweet, sweet variety. And I got another box too, so hopefully we'll find something cool on part 2 of this hunt. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so yet. If you continue to come back and watch the videos, be sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified on all of my upcoming videos. I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one.